Hello all, good afternoon. And this demo is for on API testing. This demo is for API testing session. So I'm the trainer and will be conducting this one. And currently I'm working as a test lead in one of the MNC organization. And I'm having around 9.4 years of experience in software testing. So including various technologies like manual automation, API, database, and experience in video programming skills. I'm having good working experience with Python, Java, VBScript, as well as Selenium. So for automation tools, I have working experience with PyCharm, HPUFT, Perfect Mobile, and Eclipse as well. In terms of API testing, I do have very understanding and working knowledge with Postman tool, which is again advanced test client and SoapUI. Postman and advanced test client are freeware tools, easily downloadable and anyone can use it. In terms of software methodologies, I have worked with Agile, Scrum, Waterfall model, and in automation frameworks, I'm experienced with PyTest, Hybrid framework, keyword driven, and page object model. So this is with Python as well as Java and VBScript. So all these frameworks. In CI/CD version controlling, so I do have experience with Jenkins, SVN, and GitHub. So in terms of database, I'm good with MySQL and Oracle. And test management tools, I'm experienced in HPALM and Jira. So this is overall summary about my skills and professional summary. So the scope of the demo. So here we will be knowing more about the web services, basically introduction of web services, like what it means, how it works, so how it the real life example, like their need, importance, usage, all kind of stuff, and the basic architecture implemented, and different kind of communication, how it happens. So after that, we will move to introduction of API testing. The need of API testing. What is API testing? Then there are types of API testing. Importance of API testing. Then we have challenges as well as advantages. So and in terms of in detail of API testing, we have different API methods as well. So in method, different types of methods. So HTTP method and HTTPS method. So get, post, and then delete, put, patch, head options. So we will be saying about each in the next upcoming slides. So and then also the next topic will be popular API testing tools currently used by the various industry organizations, and some are the free as well as some licensed tool. And then we will be at the end of this one, we will be proceeding with the live demo how it works. Also I will be covering how can we automate the APIs using various tools. So it can be automated with the Java as well as Python, or also in Postman tool also we can automate them. This will be overall scope of the demo. Course outline. So as we have seen, the course name would be API testing. It will be beginner to advanced level. And for this one, prerequisites are required. The someone who is joining should have basic knowledge of STLC, which is software testing lifecycle, how it works. It will be added advantage. If not having knowledge, then also fine. We will be covering that as well. And along with this, we need a lab setup configuration. So for this one, we have a separate slide upcoming, lab setup slide. So basically, we'll cover that later on. Then regarding the course material, so for participant, we will be giving the Google Drive access. So we will be sharing all the materials over the Google Drive. It will be some kind of theoretical knowledge. Also whatever notes we capture during the session will be shared over there. Then project work, whatever we are doing, all the request and all these things created using Postman will be uploaded in the Google Drive. Also, we will be sharing the frequently asked question during the interview along with the answers. So for it will be easy for student to know what exactly going on. And along with that, recordings. So whatever we are doing, so all the recordings starting from session 1 till the end will be available for accessing the Google Drive. Here we have learning outcomes. So what will be outcomes after joining this particular course? So participant will learn below points. So I have listed two, but there will be many more other than this as well. So basically, the first point would be understanding of web services and APIs. So what exactly how it works and their architecture, their types. So it will be how developers are using this and using this how we can make it easy, simpler, the two-way communication, client server communication, and many more things. Then the structure, workflows, different types, and then we have different types of request as well. So along with that, we have authentication in APIs. So different types of authentication, basically basic auth, bearer token, API key, OAuth, OAuth 1 and 2. So those will be covered. So the participant will be able to perform the task with this kind of authentication as well. And then we will be covering a different tools. So we will be starting with the Postman. So how it's starting basics of Postman. Then there are different kinds of request we can send. Then Postman we have collection, workspace, and then different kind of environment we can set global or testing, staging, QA, dev environment. So that also we can show you. Then we will be covering how, and also we will be covering how to do automation testing using the Postman tool for API, and advanced API testing with Postman tool. So it will be for this one we will be sharing some knowledge of JavaScript as well. So how we can write a small script for getting the data or parsing the data, some kind of a response validation, the code validation. So that code will be we will be writing in Postman itself. That will be using the JavaScript. So introduction to web services. So yeah, basically what is web service? So a web service is any piece of software that makes itself available over the internet or web, and it uses a standardized messaging system. It could be XML, JSON, or so. So web services self-contained and modular and dynamic to nature. So uses standards protocol as such as HTTP or TCP/IP or HTML, and it is a open collection of open protocols and standard used for exchanging the data between applications or systems. So it could be a one to many or many to one application. Suppose if we take the example of one air ticket booking website like Make My Trip. So it communicates with the many API, different databases connected, and how it works. So basically, if we take the example of typical restaurant visiting, suppose someone goes to the restaurant and order some food. So basically, someone could be a client and ordering food and serving. So serving could be suppose chef could be a server. So in between that, like middleware, we will be required someone to pass the message. So it waiter comes into the picture for taking the order to delivering to the chef, and chef will prepare the food and give it back to the waiter, and waiter will deliver to us. And yeah, so typically, suppose in this case, like web services, that waiter is acting as web services. So in some cases, suppose a client don't know about any specific language. Suppose client speaks only English, and that chef accepts he knows only German language. So that waiter can be act as a mediator to for in case of conversion as well. So it is a very easy and very quick dynamic service in the nature. So in case of real life example of Make My Trip, as we search for the flights. So Make My Trip communicates with the different flight systems. So suppose Air India or Go Ibibo or Vistara Airlines. So when we search for specific date and with the specific time, we will get the results. So within that section of time, it communicates with all other things, and it returns the data. So basically, if airlines will not allow the database connection to the Make My Trip, so that data exchange and data sharing is happening via API services. Nothing, basically the APIs. So and so this is typical example, the practical. So coming to the what is exactly API testing? What we will be doing here? So is it a type of software testing that involves testing application programming interface. So API stands for application programming interface, and so it directly communicates like with the like different system, and it is like part of integration testing. We can say determine whether like that application is meeting the expectation of for functionality, reliability, performance, and security. So all the types we can we will be covering in terms of API testing. And then like we can perform different types of testing, like it could be unit testing, load testing, security testing, functional, as well as like runtime error detection testing using like APIs. So there are many more things we can cover, achieve through API testing. Basically, API methods. So, the first is like a get, which to get some kind of data or information from another system, we use like a get method. So basically, it accepts some of the like query parameters. Some can be basic tokens as well, like access tokens we will be required. So that kind of we need to share while sending the request. Then like we have post. Suppose like we want to create something over the like server, and so this is the post is basically create a new record or new resource over the server, and it requires some kind of like a request body. So request body is basically a schema like which whatever like is developed by developer. So that we need to follow. Then we have put. So put is basically to replace the resource whatever like record or resource is available. So if you want to replace entirely, we need to like we can use the put method. And second one is like a patch. So if you want to replace a part of record, suppose like there is a data created for like some of the employee information, so just we want to replace the employee location. In that case, like we can use the patch request. It will update only that particular information. Then like we have delete. Suppose like in case of like we want to delete some of the records, so we can use the delete. So and then we have like a head. So head is like similar to get request only. So in case of get, it returns the data in response, but in case of head, it will not return the data. And then we have options. So options another type of testing, and there are many other like types available in the like postman. So that we will be covering when we starting like actual session. The like advantages of API testing. So it is like a time effective. So he needs to do the same thing, like launch the browser, open the like hit the URL and provide the username and password, and then click on login button. So but in case of API testing, it will be very quicker. So within 5 or 10 seconds, we will be verifying thousands of users whether these are like valid or invalid. So it is like very time effective. Language independent. So, so what I mean by like language independent, suppose some application is built using the like Java and another is built using the maybe Python or .NET, or like it is like some kind of mobile or web. So in that case also we will be this API testing will work those will be able to communicate, as like I have given the early example of waiter and like that restaurant example. So it is like not kind of like language dependent. So in order to like test the core functionality of application before it's like ready for like launch, or maybe like GUI is ready, so we can achieve this goal via API testing. And then also like it reduce the testing cost. As I said, if you are reducing the time, then definitely it will reduce the testing cost as well. And once the risk is reduced, so once we are done with the core functionality of application like testing using the APIs, then there will be like very less risk of any bug or security breaches. Then challenges of API testing. So as well, like main challenge in API testing is like parameter combination, parameter selection, and call sequencing. So as UI is not available, so we will be not able to say what exactly what kind of data we need to put in, and like this. So also the sequencing, which request we need to run first and which one is second. So this kind of challenges are there. So but like we will be able to know once the like reading there's some kind of documentation, whatever developed prepared. Also the categorization of like required to be known. So whatever like parameter and category, so that needs to be shared with the like testers prior to the delivering the like APIs for tech testing. And in case of like exception handling, that also needs to be like tested, so that we the tester should be aware about like this kind of scenarios as well in advance. So along with this API testing add-on topic, so what we will be covering. So we will be covering like with API testing with Python. So basically this is like nothing but like automation. So we will be covering more about like rest assured and how things are work. So those will be like add-on topics along with this API testing and the postman session. So how can we automate and all these things I can explain in the like framework wise. Okay, so additional course resources in terms of like Postman is there, but like what additional resources we will be covering. So one is like advanced REST client, which is like freeware and Google Chrome add-in. So we will be covering that as well. JavaScript. So basically, JavaScript uses how to use and how to write the script for basic operations in the Postman. That we will be covering, and we will be sharing like practice websites available for API testing. So for like to get the like real-time idea with different kind of scenarios. So that we will be like sharing, and then like a framework. So as like a Postman, we will be like mostly deal with like manual testing. So we will be require some kind of like structured framework to perform this kind of testing as like when like regression comes. So we will be like sharing one framework for this one as well. So whatever like currently being used by MNC organization, so that can be very handy and will be like very useful like while facing the interviews. So as we talked about in the earlier slide, so regarding the lab setup, so what exactly like we will be required to start with this session. So the like first prerequisite is like a high speed internet. We will be required a desktop or laptop to perform this IP testing. The like system requirements. So we will be okay with like Microsoft Windows 7 or above, any kind of OS. Then like 5 GB hard disks, it will be like SATA or SSD. So and like we will be required memory like 16 GB RAM and CPU 4 cores. So this is like a basic lab setup we will be required, and in another lab setup which we need for the like API testing. So that we will be once we are available with the system, we will do during the like initial sessions of our training. So it will be like a setup of Postman or setup of different kind of environments. So that we will be like covering. Once we are like done with the training, so like basically our sessions we will be planning for like around 20 hours. After that, like we will be conducting some kind of mock interviews. So it will be like a three mock interviews will be conducted, and the interviewers will be from like MNC organization and who are currently working on API testing. So they will be taking a like live interview, and after the interview, like we will be having a question and answer session. So if you are like someone is having questions, so they can ask to interviewer as well, so they can answer whatever your queries are. And after that, like we will be sharing the feedback, like what went good or wrong, or areas of improvement, anything required. So this is just like three I have mentioned, but in case someone needs like more kind of mock interviews, that also be like we will be taking care, and this will be like help you out to like go and like attend the interviews. So it will be like kind of your practice, the certification. So once you complete this training, so we will be providing of achievement with this, and it will be having your name, and you can share this certificate over your like on the different career sites. It could be like Naukri, LinkedIn, all these things. So you can also link our this certificate directly to your like LinkedIn account. So it will be like recognized by many of our client, and it will be like added in your like a professional resume as well. So this is like all about the slides, and thank you for like attending this demo. And if you have any kind of feedback us on the like given email ID, you can reach us at like the like phone number like for India, outside like India, USA. You can reach us on +1. We are like always available for the like for any kind of like queries or references. Thank you all for like attending this session.